Good day to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our tropical weather outlook video for today, Friday, August 1st, 2025. It is the first day of August. We are now beginning to enter the peak month of the hurricane season. Things are very soon going to start ramping up. Since we're now heading into the month of August, the seasons are now changing in the Atlantic. And since we are now in August, let's start off by taking a look at what climatology typically is from here on out. Now that we are in August, the infamous climatology map of the rising of leading up to the peak and then the crash down after that as we head into the end of the season. And where are we on August 1st on this climatology map? Where we are roughly right here. So still not much activity climatology wise in the Atlantic just yet. At least from late July into early August, we do see a slight uptick in activity climatology-wise, and as I showed you over the past several days with the models, they are starting to hint at things possibly beginning to uptick very soon. But as you see, as we head into the month of August, things start off slow again. August, and I've said this before, but August doesn't start off fast right away. Yes, August is considered a peak month of the hurricane season, but it really doesn't get going till we get to mid to late August, and you kind of see that on the climatology map. We start off somewhat slow, but then especially as we get into mid-August, you start to see the map here rapidly increase, and then we get to August 20th, which is the first day of the peak of the hurricane season is officially August 20th, and then from there we skyrocket very quickly in activity right into the peak, which is the first 10 days of September. September 10th is the official peak date of the hurricane season, and believe me, especially as we get towards the end of August, trust me, things are going to go from 0 to 100 very quickly. And the model signs are already there that things will start to become more active, especially as we get towards mid-month. And I'll go over that later. Not in this video, but I'm going to go over what we are going to talk about later today, because we have a lot of things planned for today beyond just this video that we are doing right now. So we went over climatology for activity. How does activity look like, though, specifically within the first 10 days of the month? And again, as we are now heading into the peak of the hurricane season, we are going to start seeing a lot more activity spread out throughout the Atlantic basin. In the first 2 months of the season, the early season, June and July, we typically only see activity, or where we only really saw activity was off the southeast coast in the Gulf, maybe in the Western Caribbean or the Bay of Campeche. Now, as we're getting into August, and Africa is becoming more favorable, and the Eastern Atlantic is becoming more favorable, we start to see a lot more development out here in the MDR, and activity in general really begins to pick up in the Atlantic within the first 10 days of the month. Although, obviously, as I just showed you, not as quickly as things really begin to pick up as we head towards the middle and end parts of the month, and then in the Eastern Pacific. Still lots of activity right now, and certainly, as I'll show you in the National Hurricane Center page in just a moment, there's definitely an abundance of activity in the Eastern Pacific right now, but the Eastern Pacific is really kind of on full activity mode from late June through July and into August. The Eastern Pacific kind of has a prolonged peak, honestly, and I don't even know if they really have a true peak other than they just have big bursts of activity from time to time. But Eastern Pacific in early August also very active. And right now, the Eastern Pacific is very active. Obviously, we have multiple areas of interest on the Hurricane Center homepage in the Pacific right now, starting off with Tropical Storm Iona, which is in the Central Pacific, about to move into the Western Pacific, though, and this is also pretty much on its last legs. Maximum sustained winds at 40 miles per hour, minimum central pressure 1,005 millibars, located at 14.6 north and 176.3 west, and this is moving west-northwest at 21 miles per hour, but this is on its last leg, so no need to worry or even talk about Iona much anymore, honestly. The main focus now will be in the Eastern Pacific, where we have Tropical Storm Gil. This is at 65 miles per hour and 996 millibars, and this is probably going to become a hurricane soon enough. And then we have two other areas of interest beyond that in the Eastern Pacific that'll very likely develop in the coming days here in the Pacific. And as I've been saying over the last several days, before all is said and done, I would not be surprised if we get 2 or 3 more named storms in the Eastern Pacific, but especially as we head into the middle of the month and things begin to get active in the Atlantic, which for now, not much is happening, or at least nothing is on the bulletin, at least for the next 7 days. And here's a satellite shot of the Eastern Pacific. You could see what's happening right now. Here's Tropical Storm Gil. Definitely organized and trying to become a hurricane, although this does have to deal with dry air to the northwest, and maybe that's having a little bit of a inhibiting factor on this storm, but still forecast to become a hurricane. In fact, I'll show you the National Hurricane Center track right now. I'm going to move off to the west-northwest and then maybe eventually back towards the west. But by the end of the weekend, it'll die off. So you can kind of see towards the end of the track here, it does kind of go towards the direction of Hawaii, but literally by the time we get to the end of the weekend, the National Hurricane Center expecting that this will degenerate into a non-tropical system or probably some sort of remnant low. This only has probably not much time left before it begins to move into cooler waters in the northern Pacific. So this only has till Sunday to intensify, but it probably will intensify within the next few hours. Again, National Hurricane Center expecting that this will become a hurricane. And then beyond that, in the Pacific, we also have this area here. This is probably the AOI that the Pacific has here. At least on the current NHC update tropical weather bulletin, it's not yet a invest. So I guess this does not have an official invest tag yet, but I do believe if this does get it, it probably will be invest 90E since we already made it to 99. So now we're going to recycle back to 90, and this will probably take invest 90E in the Pacific, and this will probably develop as well in the coming days. And god damn, why does that ambulance or whatever have to be so loud? Anyway, moving on into the Atlantic. Obviously, all of the activities in the Pacific right now. So the Atlantic in the meanwhile is not active at all. Starting off the first day of August, very quiet. We have a frontal system here off the East Coast, and keep this in mind for later on. And I'll tell you why I say later on in a bit. But we might have to watch potentially for something to try to develop maybe within the next week or so off the southeast coast. And I actually would not be surprised if the National Hurricane Center highlights an area of interest here shortly for maybe something off the southeast coast. But in the deep tropics, literally nothing right now. We have a tropical wave here near the islands, and this was the wave that a lot of the models were very aggressive on about a week ago, but obviously none of them expect development anymore. Why? Because as you can clearly see, atmospherically, it's very dry in the Atlantic right now. In fact, I'll even show you on the mid-level water vapor. Look at all of these orange and reds we have throughout the mid-levels of the atmosphere in the Atlantic, meaning very dry air, not a lot of moisture, and probably very warm air as well. And just in general, this is not very favorable at all for tropical development. And again, we're still in the first part of August. As I showed you with climatology, it really is not till the second or third week of August when things really begin to ramp up, and they do ramp up fast. But for now, things nice and quiet in the Atlantic, and they'll probably remain that way at least for the short-term future. So, since we're talking about the future, we're actually going to talk more in depth about what to expect from here on out now that we are in August 1st, and we're going to do that tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. I have a nice graph for you here. What's next for the season? That's going to be pretty much the theme of the live stream we'll do tonight, live at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So please keep that in mind. If you are in Central Time, it's 5 p.m. Or if you are in the Caribbean islands and you are an hour ahead of us along the east, then along the U.S. East Coast, it'll probably be 7 o'clock for you there. But we're going to be going over what are we going to expect next now that we are beginning to head into the peak of the hurricane season. We are pretty much at this point almost halfway through the season now. Uh, what are we going to see from here on out? And I'll go over all of the models and what the models show for the next few weeks, including for the next few months from here on out for the end of the season. And I'm also going to be releasing my updated hurricane season forecast because if you remember, back in June, I did a hurricane season forecast on the very first day of June. I did a live stream, just like I'm doing tonight, and I released my personal forecasts for the season. I'm going to be doing that again tonight. So if you want to see what I say now, if you want to see what my thoughts are now on the season, please stay tuned once again tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Hope to see you all there, and hope you enjoyed today's video because we're going to be wrapping up now, at least for now, because we'll once again be back tonight at 6. Hope you enjoyed what you saw for this video today. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with family and friends, comment your thoughts below and any questions you have, and I'll try to be able to answer them. And please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so you can get notification for when I go live at 6 o'clock tonight. Hope to see you all there. In the meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Peace, love, and kindness to you all. I'll see you guys again at 6 o'clock tonight.